She never asked for much. Just a little attention, a sprinkle of affection, a moment of his time. But even that seemed too much for him to give. From the very beginning, she poured her heart out, hoping he'd catch every drop. She'd stay up late, waiting for his call, her phone clutched tightly in her hand. But it rarely rang. She'd plan elaborate dates, hoping to spark that connection she craved. He'd show up late, distracted, already planning his exit before they'd even begun. In those early days, she told herself it was just his way. That he needed time to open up, to let her in. So she waited, patient as a flower waiting for the sun. Days turned to weeks, weeks to months. She found herself shrinking, trying to fit into the small space he'd allocated for her in his life. She changed her laugh, muted her opinions, dimmed her light, all in the hopes he'd finally see her. But he never truly did. She'd cook his favorite meals, spending hours in the kitchen, infusing every dish with love. He'd eat quickly, barely tasting, never noticing the effort she'd put in. No, thank you, no appreciation. Just the sound of his fork scraping an empty plate. When she spoke, sharing her dreams, her fears, her innermost thoughts, he'd nod absently, eyes glued to his phone. The blue light of the screen reflected in his eyes, but her words never seemed to reach them. She'd dress up, put on that red lipstick he once complimented, style her hair just the way he liked it. But his gaze would slide past her, settling on everything and everyone else in the room. At parties, she'd watch him from across the room, animated and alive, laughing with others. But when she'd approach, his smile would fade, his responses becoming monosyllabic. She felt like a stranger in his presence, even as her heart ached to be close to him. Night after night, she'd lie awake, replaying their interactions, searching for clues. What was she doing wrong? Why couldn't she make him happy? The questions swirled in her mind, keeping sleep at bay. She started to doubt herself. Maybe if she was funnier, smarter, prettier, maybe then he'd love her the way she loved him. She became a chameleon, changing colors to match his ever-shifting moods, hoping that one day, she'd find the right shade to catch his eye. But the truth was, it was never about her. It was about his inability to see the treasure right in front of him. One night, after another evening of feeling invisible, she found herself in the bathroom, door locked, tears streaming silently down her face. She looked at her reflection, really looked, and whispered, "Why am I not enough?" The words hung in the air, heavy with the weight of months of neglect and longing. And in that moment, something shifted. A tiny spark of defiance ignited in her chest. She realized she had been pouring herself into a bottomless cup, giving and giving, with nothing coming back. She had been chasing a shadow, hoping it would solidify into the love she deserved. As she sat there, surrounded by the echoes of her own sobs, a new question formed in her mind: what if I stopped chasing someone who doesn't even look back? It was a terrifying thought. To let go of the dream, the hope that had kept her going for so long. But it was also liberating. She stood up, wiped her tears, and looked at herself in the mirror again. This time, she saw strength in her eyes, a determination that had been buried under layers of self-doubt. She realized that her worth wasn't determined by his validation. That she deserved someone who would match her effort, her love, her dedication. It wouldn't be easy. Breaking free from the cycle of hoping and hurting never is. But as she unlocked the bathroom door, she felt lighter. Like she had shed a weight she didn't even know she was carrying. She walked out, head held high, ready to rediscover the woman she had lost while trying to be someone else's ideal. This was the beginning of her journey back to herself. A journey of self-love, of setting boundaries, of realizing that sometimes, the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to walk away. She may have begged for his love once, but now she understood, the love she truly needed was her own.